My favorite one is always the one, what's the secret to comedy?
What's the secret to comedy? Welcome to Two Shots and a Royalty Check, brought to you by Venmo, Your Money, Your Move, and Liquid Death, Murder Your Thirst. Let's get back into it.
Timing.
Yeah, very nice. There you go. I like it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It was a pregnant pause, if you will. How are you today? You look nice. You look handsome.
Not pregnant, not pausing.
You're not pregnant or paused? I paused my birth
I'm
control
and
now I'm
true
pregnant.
peak meter here.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm hitting for all the kids at home that do audio processing, hitting a minus 4.8. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
that's not RMS.
No.
Okay, it's true peak.
Shit.
Okay, just
Man,
so you fucking know. Don't come at me.
Start an OnlyFans page with that kind of lingo. I am there.
I know.
Stop talking dirty to me. Oh, God.
The problem is, I really like to not have my audio up that high anyway, and it sucks because
I know you personally like to be that high, but
that's true. That's true. But that's also why I don't like the audio that high.
Yeah, I get
especially when I'm that high.
Yeah.
Can everyone please turn everything down, man?
I have a question.
I played video games last night with. If you're a longtime listener of the podcast,
First time caller
with Troy, you guys. So we played some Star Wars, some Battlefront 2.
Nice. How was that?
And whatever. It's ridiculous. They're all just. It's so funny because it's not as if I'm not. But I will say that I was on with a bunch of stoners who didn't know what the fuck they were doing. So it's like, we should do this kind of match, dude. This would be so badass. And we had fun, but like both of the matches sucked, and they're like, we should do. They get like, okay, so one of them you just kept getting killed over and over and over on the ground war, and then it takes you up to a ship, and then you fight as like. You fight as one of the drones on the ship, and then you got to go back to the ground war, and there's all this kind of crap.
Yeah.
And so the problem is that we couldn't win and we couldn't lose, and so it just kept going on and on.
Oh my!
And I was like, okay, this really sucks. Like, why are we doing this? And, well, dude, the reason why I like to get on here is I like to use lightsabers. Okay, and I mean, you're out there with an assault rifle, and that's fine. But I like to do it on other games, and so he basically got to the point of telling me like. They're there trying to be better at gaming. I'm like, I'm just here to chat and play a game.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not here trying to be a better gamer.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I get it.
yeah,
That's not what we play games for.
That ended at 1 a.m.
Oh, goody. That sounds...
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it worth it? Did you enjoy yourself or no?
It was worth it to... Look, these are some people who don't get out much. And so this is absolutely... This was a social event.
Yeah. The social event
that,
of
like,
the
when
summer.
I texted at like 10 or whatever, it was like, hey, you guys want to shoot on Battlefront or whatever? Oh, my God, dude. Let's just join up to my party and get on the Xbox. And, and it became like we need to take a 5-minute break so we can have a smoke and so I can get something to drink. And, it was like going to a bar with people who don't go to bars.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun.
But I mean, it was fun, I think. I think they had fun.
Good.
I don't know.
You're an Xbox One fella?
So here's the I actually have written about this in a book that I'm working on. I don't know, that will come out in 2025. It's called The Future Sucks Right Now.
Oh.
And one of the chapters is about video game consoles and how they've gotten worse, even though they seem to have gotten better.
Oh.
And it basically goes over everything. Telephones, video conferencing, all the things you think we're living in the future. I'm telling you the future sucks right now. Everything you thought was going to be the future ended up not being the future.
Yeah.
Like, you're on your cell phone or you're on your iPhone or whatever, and like you're just like, I can go out to my patio and my Wi-Fi doesn't work on my cell phone. Like, I have to actually reach in a little bit because it's between a brick wall.
Oh.
But like in the 80s, I could take my little portable phone that had a little base, and I could walk halfway down the street or way in the backyard and still talk to someone in China completely clear.
Yeah.
So little things like that. But so to your question, I've actually owned damn near every gaming console thing ever.
Sega Dreamcast.
From Pong to Atari 2600, ColecoVision. I mean, we could go through them.
Did you have a Dreamcast?
Nintendo.
You had a
Yeah.
Dreamcast. Okay, so that's
No,
the
okay,
one.
that was the one I didn't have. Jeff had it.
Okay, that's fair.
Simply because of the hockey game and when we were touring. The
Yeah.
hockey game was awesome because
Yeah.
you could make Gretzky bleed.
You could make Gretzky if he bleeds. I will make him bleed.
But no, so then I was a big PS guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the way to 3, I think.
Yeah.
And then, again, Troy. Like, dude, I want to play games of war, dude. And I'm on Xbox.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I got on Xbox, and then I kind of went Xbox from there.
Mm-hmm.
But now, and I mean, I've been like total Xbox guy, and it's been fine. I love like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I like all the Red Dead stuff, GTA. I like all that
Yeah.
FIFA. But here's the problem. It's been so long now. I'm an old guy to where, like, we were supposed to play Conan.
Yeah.
And like, there's this massive open world game called Conan, and I'm like, why is this not working? It's glitchy as fuck, and I'm just getting all pissed off about it. And all of the people on there were like, which version of Xbox do you have? I'm like, well, I don't know. I have the Xbox. What do you mean? Well, do you have the X series, the new one? Because the processors don't really run on. I'm like, oh my God, have I aged out of my fairly brand new Xbox? And then I
Already,
realized
yeah.
it's probably 8 years old.
Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know
The
that's
360.
I know that's true. I had to. The old man rant coming. Old man rant coming.
Old man rat, get your canes.
Hold on. Let me fire up some Geritol and empty the colostomy bag real quick, and we'll
We have
get
to make that a sounder.
old man rant. I just had to replace my cell phone. I don't like. I use my cell phone for a lot of work stuff. I type shit. I fucking send files back and forth with my phone. I usually have the ability to, if I'm booking a gig, I've got all my promotional materials available on my phone just to be able to just instantaneously get it to somebody. Everything's so fucking well organized. And I think I had an iPhone 12 Pro Max, triple XL, Magnum,
G-string.
whatever,
Yep.
fucking, the big man condom phone. It just stopped working, and I resentfully had to go to Verizon and get a new phone. I hate buying new stuff when the
The
stuff
future sucks
now.
right now.
But also I understand.
Think about your first Nokia brick phone. How long did you have it? Forever.
Forever.
Probably still have it.
It's probably in a box somewhere. But I remember watching. There was some documentary I remember watching about this idea that at some point in time, manufacturers went to a place where everything you manufacture went from I could repair my toaster to we're going to make it so you have to buy a new one, because then we don't get a customer once, we get a customer over and over and over and over again. And that's the part of the future that I think sucks, is the fact that nothing lasts anymore. It's all disposable. I don't even own my Pro Tools program anymore. I'm on a subscription model. I own nothing, and I'll be happy about it, apparently.
I know. This is why I'm stuck on Logic, because I just refuse to go down that road.
Yeah. And I love
It's the
working
same with
in
like
Logic.
Final Cut instead of Avid.
Yeah. But I mean, like, even like but if I'm using any third-party plugins for that stuff, if I'm using if I've got an East West Sounds subscription or anything like that, there's all these peripheral pieces. I'm still, I can't just buy the software. The last software I bought was like an Isotope suite. And I thought I bought the digital download, but what they did is they shipped me a card in the mail with a download code inside the fucking... somebody put ink to paper and printed this fucking thing up and paid postage and mailed it to me. I was like,
That's
what
amazing.
the fuck? Just email
I
me
think
the
the
fucking
last
thing.
ones I bought was like Valhalla and CLA.
Yeah.
I mean, those are you got it.
Well, but even like with Waves plugins that I bought, kind of a perpetual use license or whatever, because that's essentially what it is. I don't actually own it. I just get to use it as long as I want to.
Yeah.
There's the update plan expires within a year, I believe, and then at some point in time they change their whole protocol, and you have to buy a new version of a plugin you already own.
Dude, just nothing pisses me off more. I swear to God, I have MacBooks sitting around here
Yeah.
that are perfect.
Yeah.
That worked perfect one day.
Yeah.
And the next day they didn't.
Yeah.
I have like 2 other iMacs around here that still work fine.
Yeah.
But you know what I can't do? I can't update Google Chrome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I can't use this version of Final Cut or that version of whatever because of 64-bit versus whatever. Like, it's all that kind of crap.
Yeah.
I was like, I swear to God, every single time I turn on a game, a whatever, and it's like, hi, welcome, you want to play a game? Yeah, look, it's been a hard day, man. I just would like to play 30 minutes of FIFA or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Would you like to connect online and play with somebody? No, I would not. Thank you. I just want to load Liverpool. That's all I want to do. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hey, would you like to have the new FUT? What the fuck is that? I don't know. I don't really want that. Would you like a new card to play with a special player? I wouldn't. Thank you so much. I would just like to play FIFA right now. That's great. Okay, so just a second while we update. Motherfucker. And then it ends and it's like, please restart the game. And I'm like, oh my God.
My 30
And it
minutes of
takes
gaming
me
is gone.
a half an hour
Yeah.
to load the damn thing that I was trying to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
That worked perfect yesterday. I don't need your new shit.
Yeah.
I don't want your upgrades. I don't want your expanded capabilities. I don't want to buy anything.
Yeah.
I don't want to play with anyone.
Yeah.
I just want the damn thing. And here's what I'm saying. You know what that didn't happen with? Pitfall.
Nope.
You blow on it, put in Pitfall, and you can play. Didn't matter.
But even with the cartridges, like we have a Switch. Nintendo. We have a couple of Nintendo Switches in the house. We have the portable one and the actual console with the base and all that shit. The cartridge some of the cartridges will only work with a Wi-Fi connection.
Yes.
And it's like
That's the other thing.
I understand that, like, and but here's the thing I think about. I think I still have somewhere, it's in a storage unit. They probably fucking sold it off on like that storage unit. Fucking, was it Pawn Stars or something? I don't know, fucking where they open up a storage unit, they're like, wow, there's a Rolls Royce in here. That kind of shit. And
I bid $35.
$35, got myself a Phantom. They have I think I have my original graphite iMac with the handle, the bubble.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure I still have Half-Life on it. And I remember a few years ago firing that fucking thing up and playing Half-Life. And I didn't have to I just made sure there was, it didn't ask me for an internet connection.
No.
Just got in there, played the fucking game, put it away, and now it belongs in somebody else's Rolls Royce.
You know what that's called? Air gapped.
Yeah,
You're safe.
I'm in the CIA. Did you know
That's
this?
right.
I'm a
I
spy.
actually have my bubble Mac, and I had to go over and I'm trying to. By the way, all these computers I was talking about, which we call this St. James Radio Shack over here. I have so many fucking things that don't work with other things, but different dongles and different, power supplies. And
Hashtag dirty.
Does that go to the Dell or does that go to the Mac? It's just crazy.
Maybe it
but
works
so
for
I,
both.
I opened up that Mac, my bubble Mac, and that was back in the day, like when we were like heavily doing band stuff. So I really wanted to get like one of the albums that we did. I had a bunch of artwork on there and all that. So I put in like a USB stick.
Yeah.
And I could basically download the whole computer on that USB stick.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
32
Every
megabyte
single
hard
file.
drive, yeah.
Yeah, because I think I had like a 5 terabyte stick or something, or 1 terabyte stick, and it was like, what do you want? You want it all? Sure, yeah, sure.
Sneeze and it's on there.
You know what's hilarious about it is opening up all these laptops and old computers. It's funny. I was like, oh God, I wonder if what would the password be? I don't even know. None of them have passwords.
Yeah. Password is password.
They figure if you can turn on your computer, you're there to use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was no passwords on it. And by the way, so when I fired that up, one of the programs that started bopping around was LimeWire. And I was like, oh, shit.
There's a substantial porn collection on this computer.
Yeah. Substantial porn and Metallica bootlegs.
Metallica bootlegs that were labeled as the new, the new Evanescence record or something.
Yeah, a bunch of emo rock and shit. Yeah.
All mislabeled, and it's just file names, and it's like, I don't even know what this is.
I really don't.
This has been an old man rant. That's been a good one.
But you know what? It's not. I have a few friends who are in their late 20s and stuff and early 30s, and I talk to them about it. They hate it too. And I know some kids that are 16, 17, and I've asked them, I'm like, does it piss you off? And they're like, yeah. Like, because they don't even know the difference. Yeah. I mean, they don't know that it was ever different. Yeah. But like even late 20-year-olds, they get sick of all these updates. They get sick of all this stuff and having to replace stuff. Like they're now in the first phase of what we went through. Yeah. I constantly make the case that Gen X has paid for all of this. Yeah. Like I bought Pearl Jam 10. Yeah. 10 times so that you could fucking have Spotify. Yeah. And listen to it for $9, $10 a month. Oh, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Nice. That's a solid segue. That is a solid fucking segue.
But it's true though.
I'm hard as a rock right now.
Cassette tape, and then your girlfriend took it, and then you bought it on cassette tape, and then you got stuck in a car and got melted, and then you had it on CD, and then you like let someone borrow it to make a mixtape, and then you're like, God damn it, where's my Pearl Jam 10? And then they gave it back, and then you opened it up, and it was like Sugar Ray in there or something. It's like, God damn it!
I just want to fly.
And I just had to buy another one, and then when iTunes came out, I downloaded it, and then now I don't have whatever iTunes doesn't really work, or that's on one of these previous computers, one of those music libraries. So yeah, you're welcome. By the way, that's it.
I bought a used Kia a few years ago. It was one of the little Souls. It was a nice little box I could squeeze my PA in and all this shit. And it was maybe a year old or something, like they're 2 years old, and I got in it. It had the fucking lights that pulse with the music, and it had a CD player in it. And I'm driving it off the lot, and I've I got a pretty good deal on it. And I go, this is some fucking sophomore's, driving. This is her, congratulations on your driver's license present, right? And I'm driving along, and I just kind of, like, cool, this is good. I hit eject on the CD player, and a burned CD slides out of the slot. It slides out, and I pull it out, and it has florally girly writing all over it that says Bethany's sophomore mix on it.
Oh my God.
And I just went, of course. I just couldn't stop giggling. I had bought a sophomore in high school's used car.
You bought a sophomore in high school's used mixtape for $15,000 and got a free car.
Yeah, pretty much.
What happened. So what was on the?
I don't think I actually listened to it. I just couldn't stop.
Oh my God, we got to find it. You have to find it.
It's probably in a box somewhere. I have a fuckload of CDs, obviously CDs everywhere, but I will find it. I will find you.
Yes. And it's got to be like All American Rejects.
Probably.
Hopefully My Chem.
If it's not,
maybe a little Fall Out Boy.
I was driving home this morning and fucking Helena came on my mix that I have. I've had an app.
Still a banger.
The production on that track, just the shit the guitars are doing, the vocals are doing, it is fucking excellent. It is still great.
It is so good. Yeah. And no one can whisper like Gerard.
Yeah. And I tell you what, like, I mean, back in that era, that is a hot man. I still think he's a pretty good looking dude, like now that he's kind of let go of, the dark hair and the red makeup and all that stuff. But man, was he a fucking smoke show.
Yeah. Total smoke show. Totally.
Yeah. So shout out to Gerard Way.
Love Mikey.
Very excited for the final season of Umbrella Academy. Thank you, Gerard Way, for creating great stuff. So speaking of segues, you had a beautiful segue and we totally shit all over it.
Do you see my video doing that?
I do. It's bouncing around like
why? Why is that happening? No idea.
It's your computer's working. Have you tried updating it?
Oh, motherfucker!
Oh, yeah. Fuck
All
you!
Right, so I was on the Q223 Spotify call the other day.
Yeah,
I'm sure you were, as everyone who listens to this was.
I was not invited.
Actually, I got asked why I was on it, and I was like, "Well, you could have been on it. I mean, I'm part of the press or whatever, but that's not why. I mean, you could have been on it. You could have figured it out.
Probably.
All right, don't pay attention to that. I'm going to turn the video off there, just in case something's screwing up for a second.
Okay.
There's a buffering problem. But anyway, so I was on the Spotify Q223 call. You could have been too. Mm-hmm. But I was on there for press, for Performer Mag and stuff like that. But I actually join all of them because I want to know about the fans. I want to, because that's what you're actually finding out. What the hell is the most important platform in music doing, and also what's going on with the fans. And so the big news that came out just recently is that Spotify is raising their price by, drumroll, $1. $1, and that is for premium individual plans.
Yeah.
Okay? And so I was asked about it for some article or whatever and what I thought, and I thought I would just give you my opinion, and I want to hear your opinion. Imagine that, Michael giving his opinion on something. So I think, there's a lot of misunderstanding about what this is. One, let me start here. Spotify has held for a long time that if they raised prices, they would lose premium subscribers. And they're all about gaining numbers. It doesn't really matter about the money. As you know, they've rarely, if ever, turned a profit in a quarter. I think there was one, and that was an anomaly. But they run at a negative net revenue. So that means they have a lot of revenue, and then they pay all of it out into rights holders, basically, and into costs. And that's basically how they run their business. It's all about growth. Get to every country, get as many people in countries to get addicted to Spotify, and then we'll make money later.
Yeah.
Well, that was great like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's still happening.
Yeah.
So they finally raised it $1. Like, the market wants them to raise it. Labels want them to raise the price, partially because labels have like specialized deals. They have pre-negotiated deals for windows of time, where they get a certain piece of the revenue, and knowing that $1 would go into that. It's basically 4 major players. It's the 3 majors, then Merlin, and then all the rest of us. That basically take up the Spotify share. Yeah. So that's Universal, Sony, Warner, and then Merlin, which is basically a bunch of independent labels that are subs. So Spotify says we raise it by any amount. Our internal data says that we're going to lose people. And everyone else is like, come on, raise it because we want to make the money. Who cares if you lose a few people? Yeah. So this is basically a dare contest. Yeah. And by the way, just so everybody is clear, the people that run Spotify don't give a fuck about your money. They care about the stock market. That's how they've made their billions of dollars. That's how they make their money. It's not about salaries to them. It's not about a 100-year-old company for them. It's about the stock market. And so whatever they could do to raise the revenue to make sure that their stock goes up in the next quarter, and you got to turn a quarterly thing, they got to pull tricks, right? If you're not making profit, you got to turn tricks. And the turn in the tricks, as a whore knows, you just basically have to paint your lips a different color and go, oh, we're not making any money, but 20 more million people are interested in fucking me. and so that's what they do. Or they go, oh, or the pimp just goes, you know what? We now have hookers in Thailand, and so they just add a country, they add users, and that's what the market responds to because they don't really understand how streaming works. You guys, they do not really understand how it works.
One more time for the people in the back.
I talked to a JP Morgan guy who said that Spotify pays money to artists. That is not correct. It's never been correct. It's not correct. And for a guy that has billions of dollars probably loaded onto Spotify somewhere, it is unbelievable how little they understand about how the whole fucking thing works. But anyway,
Magnets.
I digress. So think about it this way. So Spotify we got the numbers basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Spotify has 551 million users. That's monthly active users. That means someone that got on and touched it this month, basically, right? Of that, the ad-supported users are about 343 million. So that's a lot. Yeah. The subscribers is what they call premium users. Is 220 million. Yeah. And that is basically 40% of all of it. So when you're talking about this price raise, that means that only 40% of people that use Spotify are going to be paying that extra $1. And that's actually not even true, because the real big problem with Spotify as well as Apple and a few others that do this, is the family plan and the duo subscriptions. So there's 3 problems. You're free 3 months, right? So when you join one of these things as a subscriber, you get 3 months for free. That means artists, rights holders, everyone who's playing on Spotify, they don't get a dime from you. It's not put into the royalty pool.
Yeah.
And that also means that like the family plan is like so low for 4 users that you're not making the same amount of money for everyone. And so what that means is that this dollar doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. First of all, inflation would have the price of Spotify at $12.99 right now, at least. And this is the same problem we had with iTunes when they decided a song was worth $1 and then they never fucking changed it for 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
Instead of like raising it, and it should have gone up incrementally by 4 or 5 cents a year for cost of inflation.
Yeah.
And they never did. And so it taught fans to think that music stays the same price for them, even though you and I know recording goes up, mastering goes up, mixing goes up, price of mics go up. All that kind of stuff goes up. So, the reason why this matters is that this is all basically a game that's being played with the most important platform in the music industry.
Yeah.
And did it work, Stu?
No.
5 days ago, the stock was at, let's see, let me look here. I just want to make sure I'm correct so nobody sues me about it. It was about 170 something. 173.98, call it 174. And after the price raise happened this week, it dropped something like 18% in the last 5 days, $29 a share. So the street didn't buy it.
Yep. Which is where they're making their money.
Right. And so we're on this call, and of course, this is Q2, right? So we're in Q3, which will be the meeting 3 months from now. No one knows whether or not they've lost, how many users they've lost, whether or not those users will go to ad supported. And so it's all rosy over at Spotify during Q2.
Yeah.
Oh, we grew. Don't you all worry about it.
Yeah.
Our subscribers have grown. We're up 17% year over year, up 57% year over year on the ad supported. By the way, did you know Spotify topped 100,000 video podcasts? And like they just, so they like to just show you everything else, except for the real thing, which is like, are people paying money for music?
Yeah.
By the way, advertising revenue is down.
Yes.
So even the ad supported is down. We are in a period where people don't realize this. Look, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I should mention this.
Yeah.
We're in a period where Spotify's ARPU, which is basically average revenue per user, has been at $4.50. You think it's $10. It's not. It's about $4.50. And that means after all their costs and everything, about $4.50 is what gets split up amongst the rights holders and stuff, right? And that $4.50 has been going down. The average revenue is going down. This is called the digital streaming spiral. This is the downward spiral of the more people that get in, the less money they're going to make. I know that doesn't make sense to you, but here's the thing. There are so many puts at Spotify being at like $70. So like if it drops under $100 in the stock, it will skyrocket down to $70. It's very possible at that point that Spotify just folds. And I know that doesn't sound realistic to most people, but I think you should understand there is no other reason for Spotify to be in business other than the stock market right now. They could fold and save the money, sell off the shares as they're going down, and you're fine. And then Spotify just doesn't exist because there is Apple. Who cares?
Yeah.
So just so you know, it could happen. That's not going to happen, but I just want to put some fear into people for it. What do you think about the dollar raise? Do you pay for Spotify?
I do. Of course I do. I have to.
Of course. Yeah, I know. We have to.
I mean, one of the...
Well, not me, but my business does.
My business does too. And one of the reasons I did was because I would be doing an event in the mountains, and I wanted to be able to download a playlist that I had made or somebody had made for the event and have it so it was air gapped. But even then, that still doesn't fucking work sometimes. But like that was the entire reason I was like, okay, fine. And also, I like the numbers piece of this game where I can see if I don't think I get the same amount of data. I'm pretty sure I don't get the same amount of data. At least I didn't when I first started subscribing. About like any artist I might be working with, what their listeners look like, what their streams look like, and where they're currently playing. So that's the reason I subscribed. But I don't think that this dollar is going to make it much of a difference, mainly because, and we talked about this, how if Spotify raised the price, they were going to lose so many listeners that it would fucking, exactly what you just said, crater the whole thing. So, I mean, I think that the dollar, you're right, is a test balloon to see what's going to happen. And I think that, I doubt they'll put it back down.
No, they won't.
But again, most people that are using this platform are using it in a free capacity.
Yep.
That's the thing. 60% of people are using it.
And the number is way higher in emerging nations.
Yes.
So like the more nations that go into new, I mean, you're looking at like 70-80% that join ad supported. Because a lot of them don't have
credit cards,
a credit card processing.
Yeah, exactly. So. They don't have a way to, I mean, they're not as, even our fucking digital financial system, would fix that. Is fine. But imagine going to another country where like, hey, you can listen to music on your phone. How are you going to pay for it? If you don't have a credit card and you don't have the option to have a system, there's no infrastructure for that to exist. But I think that we're already seeing that, $1 a month isn't a huge deal for me, and I use it for different reasons than, somebody who else pays for a family plan or whatever. But at a certain point, you just go, why am I doing this? With the Apple model, with what they do with their music, I mean, I have the bundle with Apple. So I have TV, I have Apple Music, I have all the storage, I don't ever fucking read the news or any of that shit. But there are, like, the bundle is cheaper for me to buy than it would be to buy all the pieces I want individually and parse it out. So for me, that makes sense. But if you don't have a fucking Apple product, what's the option there?
Yeah. So I find it amazing. Like when I was younger, I would pay anything not to see ads. And I am stunned constantly by how many sort of 20 and 30-year-olds are fine with ad-supported Hulu, ad-supported Spotify, ad-supported YouTube. Like, YouTube is my favorite premium subscription there where I never see an ad.
Yeah.
And I do not understand how that's not worth 2 cups of coffee to you. I mean, I just don't. Like, I don't want to see Geico ads. I don't want to see any ads.
Especially on, like, something I'm watching. Like, if I'm watching a show or watching a movie on Hulu, I do not want to see an ad in this movie. I want to watch the movie.
Yeah. Or it's even worse with, like, a Spotify playlist. Like, if I was at somebody's house, like, not too long ago, and they were having this, like, summer party, and they had a playlist going.
Yeah.
And then it, like, broke into a stupid ad. Mm-hmm. And I was like, What's going on here? Are you listening to the radio? Yeah. I'm like, how is it that the old guy's pissed off at an ad? But
But this lets me know from a marketplace standpoint that we are in the minority.
Yep, we are.
We are in the minority, and that is why we're seeing this issue, is because if I can get something for free and occasionally I have to listen to an ad about fucking Liberty Mutual Insurance, that justifies the content. And I mean, you and I listen to music differently. You and I consume content differently than the average Joe. I mean, the person that wants to listen to music, I doubt they're even really hearing the ad. They're hearing sound, and it's something that's on in the background that goes on while other things are happening. We've talked about that too.
Yeah.
So the ad isn't even really registering to them as a listener, maybe subconsciously, but as a listener, it's like a song I can hum while washing my balls in the shower. Beyond that, I don't notice, right?
Washing my balls. Taking a shower.
Wash them. Yep. That was a really, really nice song. That'll be on the new Miller James album.
Right.
Yep. Along
Stingers
with you
guys.
Us.
And by the way, if you're playing for premium Spotify, you'll be able to get that, but otherwise, no. By the way, that is something that has been floated, is that if you want to do ad-supported, you should be able to do ad-supported, but why are we giving you all the world's music for that? Now, if you pay premium, maybe you have more music than other things. Like if you're doing ad-supported, why do you get brand new releases? You shouldn't get brand new releases. That's one way to create scarcity in music, which economics will tell you that's where the value is: scarcity, supply, demand. So that is one thing that's been considered a lot with Spotify.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting. I mean, like if you look at something like I pay for HBO, I believe you pay for HBO as well. The movies that are on HBO are not brand new. They've been out for a few months in the theater. If you want to see it in the theater, you can see this. If you want to pay for it, you still got to wait a little while afterwards.
Or if you want on demand, you can pay for it on demand and before it goes to the channel.
Yeah, and usually if you're gonna, I mean, I've had a couple on demand. Like I rented. I was gonna rent The Flash, that just came out on. You save every one of us. Thank you very much. I appreciate The Flash Gordon. It's one of the fucking best soundtracks.
Every time I see the thumbnail, I sing it.
Yeah, it's about.
And then I realize that's not that movie.
I love Flash Gordon so much. Not just because of the soundtrack. That movie's fucking ridiculous and awesome.
It is. Yeah.
But like I went to rent it, and it was $20 to rent it, and it was $24.99 to buy it.
Right.
So again, a cup of coffee. I can own this movie, and it's like, well, or I can wait.
Yeah.
And then I have the option. So I mean, it does make sense that they'd be like, okay, you want Midnights? Well, you're gonna have to wait 3 months.
Yep, that's right.
On a free platform. But if you want to pay right now, you can.
Something they're considering. We'll see.
I think that's an interesting idea. What do you think about that?
It is an interesting idea. I don't know how you do it. There's some programmatic problems to it, like how you roll out nationally, and it causes. Spotify's very aware of other competition. So one thing we don't talk about here is Apple. There is no free program.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Tidal, there is no free program. So all those are like all paid, all in, and so. If you had those things, they know that they're at a competitive disadvantage if they limit certain listening to certain people.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, the end result of it is $1 is not going to matter to you, probably.
Yeah.
To me, probably. To rights holders, most likely. I mean, it will fucking matter to Universal, to Sony.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why they're doing the smallest little increase that they can is when you're talking about billions and billions of dollars, well, then that matters. Then you're picking up an extra $25 million or something in a quarter for Universal or Sony. Yeah, that makes you a little happier to hang on for a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's where we stand on it, or that's where I stand on it. At least it's not going to really matter. But watch the stock price.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an interesting watch. And
in 3 months we'll report back what the premium users number stands at.
Yeah, I'm curious as to see what happens in 3 months. Yeah,
I think they'll lose at least 2 million.
Really, that many?
Their internal stuff said 20 million. I don't believe that. I think that's scare tactics.
Yeah,
but I mean, 20 million is 10%.
Yeah.
That's actually not that much.
No.
I mean, it's a lot, but it's not like devastating.
Yeah,
2 million is like 1%.
Yeah,
that feels right. $1 for 1%.
Yeah. Well, and again, the return on that is still exponentially greater than the expense.
Yeah.
The loss. Yeah.
Yeah, and another reason why you all should realize why this is a hot topic is that Spotify's raising the price. We constantly, because we're all in the music game, or in the music trade, as Justin Hawkins rides again, as he likes to call it, the music trades.
Yeah.
Because we're all in that, we think about this as music. But I'm telling you, Spotify thinks about this as audio, as podcasts, as comedy. There's a bunch of other audio on podcasts that isn't your song. Or on Spotify.
Yeah.
And so when they think about losing users, they're like, man, I'm gonna lose that chick that listens to 4 hours of murder podcasts a month or a week on this. And so by the way, 2 Shots and a Royalty Check is a podcast available on Spotify. All right, let's get to the sync of the week here.
Ooh,
I'm gonna start us off here.
Oh, please.
I am watching. Okay, I love my spy shit, right?
Yes.
I love spycraft.
We talked about it. Yeah.
But it's very narrow, okay?
Yeah.
I don't like World War stuff. I'm not old guy. I don't like Hitler shit. I don't like any of that. I don't like when it veers too much into military, but sometimes it obviously does. But I like the spike. I like the people that are wearing suits.
Yeah.
And the spycraft stuff.
Yeah.
So I picked up a one that was from a few years ago on Netflix called Pine Gap.
Ooh.
Have you seen that?
No, I have not. Is it?
I haven't
Worth my
either.
time?
This is something where the algorithm showed it to me. You may also like.
Yeah.
And when I watch like something that's spycraft and it says you may also like, I just roll through that and I'm like, I've seen them all. And so this was one that I have not seen. And I will say I love it. It's basically about 3 satellite communication centers that run the whole world.
Holy shit.
One of them is in Denver. One of them is in Minwith Hill, Harrogate, Yorkshire.
Oh, wow.
And another is in Alice Springs, Australia.
Very nice, mate.
And
Bonza.
that place is called Pine Gap.
Pine Gap?
Yeah. And so,
Wow.
first of all, I also love anything that shouts out Denver.
Yay.
I am totally that guy. It's like Family Guy where it's like, he said it. Like every time they say Denver, I freak out. Like, I'm like, I live there. And it's actually Buckley Air Force Base, which if you're actually from here, you know is actually in Aurora. But we're going to call that Denver.
Yeah.
But so season 1, episode 2 or so, there's a scene and a song that comes up in it. And you need to go search this song. It is a fantastic song, a fantastic artist.
All right.
I'm new to this, by the way. I do not know this guy. I do now, though. I have been listening for like 2 days to it. The song is called My God Has a Telephone.
Ooh.
Great fucking name.
Yeah.
The artist is Aaron Fraser.
Okay.
Frazer. Okay.
Okay.
And it's a soulful kind of kickback. I think Dan Auerbach may be associated with it.
Okay.
So think about that kind of like soulful, very real instrumentation, lots of real reverb on there.
Yeah.
But it's called My God Has a Telephone, Aaron Fraser, and the music supervisor is Jess Moore. And it is a fantastic song. It's a pretty cool show. I think it's a limited series.
Very nice.
So we'll find out more as I go along. So there you go. There's my sync of the week.
That is, I have a question for you. When Ted Lasso called out the Denver Broncos,
Oh my God, I freaked out. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Coach. Did you just equate the Denver Broncos to being gay?
I freak out.
Yeah,
because I'm a Denver kid. Because I grew up here. Like
that's fair.
And to understand what that comes from, maybe people from Denver that are listening to this can understand that. Is that like this was a cow town?
Yeah.
In the 70s and the 80s, early 80s, definitely was a cow town. Definitely fighting to be a city, and we didn't think it was a cow town, but everyone else did, and they were right.
Yeah.
And, you know, you try to have a little civic pride, and you're like, no, my city's awesome. We have a professional football team. And, you know, it took forever for Denver to actually be a major city. And then it was. And then championships and Stanley Cups and Super Bowls.
NBA
and
Finals.
The Pope. I think a lot of it started when the Pope came here.
Oh, my God. I remember the Pope coming here.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of those little things that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, we always had Red Rocks, but that's kind of mountain lifestyle. But, like, from a city standpoint, once some of those things started happening, and now Denver is the top 18 city in the U.S. Yeah. So, like, we're up there. We're up there. Dallas.
We did it, guys. Top 20.
Yeah, that's right. Congratulations, everyone. Now we have a lot of crime.
It's a constant game in Denver of firework or gunshot.
Firework, gunshot. There's this homeless guy who keeps hanging out around our building that everyone keeps calling me about.
Yeah.
He's not homeless. He's dating someone on the third floor.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. And they're like, he was sleeping by the back door waiting to get let in. I was like, yeah, that's just bleep, because he's waiting for bleep to get home because they're dating.
Yeah.
Which reminds me of a great line from, oh God, was it Dead Again? What was that show where the toilet seat fell down on everything? Stuart Copeland did the music for it.
Dead Like Me?
Dead. Dead Like Me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a woman in it that's like, the homeless, such passionate lovers, but they will rob you blind.
I'd like to point out that waiting by the back door is,
That's what she
anyway,
said. Okay.
thank you very much.
Hit me.
Yeah. Okay, so I watch usually one show at a time, right? I'm consuming one thing at a time. I just finished The Bear, and my God, is
TV.
it fucking fantastic. It is so good. And the season 2 was better than season 1. Season 1 was fucking great.
Season 2 made it fantastic.
There was one particular episode that made me, and I think you know exactly which episode it would be, made me so uncomfortable.
Family episode.
We'll call it the family episode. Was the most uncomfortable I've been watching television in a long time, and I fucking loved it. It was so brilliantly done. I can't even stand how fucking amazingly creative, and Jamie Lee Curtis, a fucking revelation as usual. Anyway, season 2...
You'll all hear about it because it will win all the awards.
It'll win all the awards. It is so fucking good. Anyway, season 2, episode 7. Oh, by the way, my best friend Danielle pointed out to me that the lead in The Bear, Carmi, is Lip from Shameless. And I did not put that together until she said it. And I was like, fuck! And Lip got abs. If you want to check out some photos of him with his shirt off while, working out, fucking well done. Well done. So
he's on the come up.
Oh, well... I've got several jokes that hit there, but we'll leave them alone for now because, well, this is already a rated R podcast. It's fine. We'll just call them cum gutters. Anyway, but season 2, episode 7, fucking great episode. Richie focused, really, really great. And twice in the episode, "Love Story" by Taylor Swift was featured. And really, really, really great places, great moments, and it was.
And where you didn't think it would be.
Yeah, where you didn't think it would be, and because of
it's a callback to previous episode.
Yep, and it was just fucking so. There's a couple. I've got a few others from the show as well, but that one was really, especially with how the growth of the character and the relationships around him and what that song meant to him in that moment. It was just such a fucking perfect placement. And it was obviously Taylor's version. But yeah, Josh Senior, music supervisor on that, and the creator and writer of the show, Christopher Storer, also a music soup on that. I think he's doing a little bit of, what our friend Bill Lawrence and Krista Miller do with Shrinking. And I love that. Again, somebody with a vision. They see a soundtrack with the scene. I fucking love it. I here for it. That show is fucking magnificent.
And good luck on the strike, boys.
Yeah, good luck on the strike. I hope it resolves itself amiably for especially the creators.
The sync where he's driving.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
I cried.
That was the one. That was the one that got me.
Just had tears.
Yeah.
I'm crying right now, you guys. No, I seriously welled up, partially because of Taylor.
Yeah.
Look, I get it. I'm a Swiftie.
Yeah,
whatever.
Me too. Very much.
Can't really say it, but I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, emotional music kills me with the scene. Mm-hmm. That's why we do this. And it's just perfect.
Yeah. I loved it. And it was such again, the way the character was in that scene and the growth that he'd gone through in that episode. And they're most of them are 30 to 40 minutes long. They're not long episodes, but the amount of emotional content that's packed into this show is fucking astonishing. Anyway, that was my sync. A fantastic show.
Yay, that's a good one. All right, let's wrap this one up. Kelsey, go ahead and press the stop button. Thank you so much. No, don't press it yet. Press it yet.
Did we find her on the internet? I swear to God. It looks like...
I'm looking. I am looking.
That wasn't...
I think I posted on our Instagram, not that she'll see it, but I think I found her. And I've messaged, but I can't tell whether or not I have found her because no one's messaged me back. But not that she would.
I don't want you knowing what the fuck I am.
Who's this guy stalking me?
You already have enough access to me while I'm here.
Okay, Kelsey, we have to make an actual bet here though. We gotta make an agreement. If I do find you, you do have to write back. Okay, all right. So that's a yes. So you can't just hide.
She can't just slide you some cash and say no.
Yeah, that's horrible. Hide and seek.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us this week. Make sure to rate and subscribe us.
Hilarious
subscribe
comment.
to us. Hilarious comments. Apple Podcasts. We've got like a 5.0 rating. Did you know that?
Yeah, we're
Every
like the
single
fucking
person that
Mustang from
listens
the
to
80s.
this loves it. They just
yay.
love it.
Yay. Especially those Nordic folks.
I know. We really do appreciate it. Thank you all so much. Make sure to follow us at 2ShotsMusicPod wherever you get your follows. And email us, 2ShotsMusicPod@gmail.com. And until then, we will talk to you next week.
You're all
Bye.
very attractive. Bye.